basically, welcome back to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. Out here at the 100 acres today, and hopefully getting some stuff done before it rains. So it's that time of year where we got lots of pop-up showers. That's what happened to us last time. We're getting the stumps ground up at the septic area and caught some rain. So out here today trying to get that finished up. So essentially what we need to do, we got all the stumps ground. We need to go through, do a little bit of mowing. So we're gonna get the bush hog hooked up over here, and then have the York rake here as well, and gonna get all that stuff collected up and try to get it cleaned up enough. And once we have that done, we have this area kind of between the two drives that has a lot of stuff in it, has stuff down. So we're gonna get it picked up, bush hog it, and then take the York rake over it. Have this spot cleaned up enough that I can mow it. So I just want to kind of keep working our way up and kind of get it so that I can mow this with the zero turn as well. Right now it's just pretty messy, so kind of get it cleaned up a little bit and then we can start mowing it. As I mentioned, had a ash tree fall over, so the top of it's pretty rotten, so it just kind of blew up all over the drive. So getting that picked up to start with, just so we don't grind that into the stone. So just doing a quick pickup here and then go dump it back in the green hole. Okay, so got all these stumps out here. So mainly just kind of bush hog this all down, and then once we have that done, we'll take the York rake and start collecting everything that we've mulched up. So basically, gonna come to the drive around here, and then to about where those trees are around, and then like that tree there needs to go, and that one. I'm not sure if we'll do those today. They're not directly in the way, but they'll eventually be, and they're not really worth much. So we'll get those taken out eventually, but right now just trying to get everything cleaned up. So while he runs around and does some mowing, I go ahead and just start picking up some of the bigger chunks so that they don't get stuck in the York rake. The idea is eventually to be able to kind of start mowing this area. It may not grow a whole lot before we start putting the septic in, but any grass we can kind of get established just to kind of hold the dirt will be better than any of it, washing away. So if I do get to the point where I can mow, then I just don't want the big stick. So we kind of had a spot collected up there from last time before it started raining, and just kind of got it picked up, put in the back of the auto, and then just mowing in circles here. It's amazing how much of an improvement it really does make. Just getting that, all the weeds and stuff cut down. Yeah, one thing to note is always stay away from the back, because there are sticks and stuff, and it does like to chuck them, 20-30 feet, so just want to be cognizant of that. Okay, step one done, got everything mowed up here, so it's amazing how much that even just helps. Really kind of seeing what we have here, and kind of being able to get through and stake stuff out. I don't know if that we'll get to that today, but we have a pretty good idea kind of where the field's gonna go. Tank kind of over this direction, and that'll give us plenty of room with the house. So we have a little bit of an elevation change here that slopes down, but it's really not too bad, and definitely with the Presby you can kind of work with it a little bit more, which I think is the direction we're going to go. So you have your pipes that you put in, and then the sand bed downhill from that. So anyway, got this cleaned up so we can really kind of get in here now. So we're going to grab the York rake, put it on as he's pushing trees over. Just trying to clean some stuff out, and that was a dead ash tree that he was able to just push out. But he's cleaning up a little bit that direction before we switch to the York rake. And like I said, we're going to try to put the York rake on and kind of sweep everything this way and put it in the otter. We'll see if that works well today. It's still pretty wet. We weren't sure if it rained here yesterday or not. It looks like it did. So everything's pretty wet. So the York rake kind of doesn't work as well with that. Everything just clumps up more. So we'll try to kind of rake this out. It's a lot better if it's really dry, but we'll get at least a start and get some of it. It may not be kind of the final time we have to do it. We may have to do it a couple more times after that, just to kind of get things finished up, but went ahead and got mowed down this direction too. So eventually, so right now the drive kind of comes up and then it's where the otter's sitting. Eventually, so the house is going to kind of be kind of in, you know, that area back. So we want eventually the drive to kind of loop around kind of where that clearing is, just downhill from the red oak there. So eventually we kind of want to straighten the drive up here, and then it'll kind of circle into like the garage and everything and be in front of the house. So we want to take the dirt that we have to take off there and kind of bring it this direction. And then this will end up just being yard, so that we don't have the woods right next to the house. So a lot of these trees are going to end up going just because they're going to be close to the house, and I don't want anything big enough that can fall on the house. Right now it can go any direction and it doesn't matter. So we'll eventually do some more clearing down this way, and some of these, like this one right here, once we figure out the exact layout of the septic, we may either push it out or cut it off and then grind it. I think it's far enough away and starts to get on the slope. It's probably far enough away, but we just have to, you know, kind of lay stuff out and make sure. But it's amazing how much stuff just grows up and gets pretty thick down here. And this is kind of the opened up part of most of the property, what we have down here. But even like this stuff down here, there's a lot of sticks and stuff, so we may not try to work on this as much right now, just because it's really wet down here. Doesn't get much sun right now, whereas that gets sun most of the day. So we'll probably focus up there, and that's where the septic's going to go. But it'd be nice to get more of this area cleaned up, and like I said, eventually we'll kind of bring more dirt from the top of that hill that we cut off and kind of bring it this way and slope it down, build it up a little bit so that we have a better approach for the drive, and then just kind of taper this off a little bit better, so that it's kind of a nice mowable hill, and this will be part of the yard. So stuff's starting to shape up and come together. Still have a lot of work to do, but getting things in place to be able to move forward. So as I mentioned, now that we have this all cleaned up, switch over to the York rake, and instead of dragging it all to kind of just across, go ahead and try cleaning up the entire area. And so basically just drag circles around and kind of pile it up here, so we can take the loader bucket and just pick it up and put it in the back of the auto, and I can start dumping that back in the green hole to get rid of it. So see here doing that, it's fairly effective, you know, here because it's fairly wet. Ended up with a lot of grass and kind of dirt, which is okay. So it's just a little bit of what we got collected last time. So I've been picking up some of the stuff that, you know, is bigger and get a hold of, but this is what we got just scraped up last time. So hopefully we'll continue to do that with like the York rake today, and then whenever we have that, get a pile of it, you can scoop it up, put it in the auger, and I'll just bring it back to our green hole. So just kind of dump it in, and then whenever we either bring the tractor back or have the 62 here, we can work on pushing stuff back. So seems to be working fairly well, but it's kind of the method to the madness today to get that area cleaned up. So it's nice on this worksite model of the 1120 that we have. Hydraulic dump is standard, which is nice because heavy loads like that you wouldn't necessarily be able to just pick up. So having that hydraulic dump is a help. You notice there, whenever we're looking back at the auto, we built that headboard that goes up a little bit further next to the cab. So there wasn't anything there whenever we bought it. I believe on newer models they may have added something there, but really limits how much you can put in because it instantly wants to then go into in between the cab and the bed. So just putting that little, I don't know, maybe 10-inch piece there really helps stuff stop from going in, let you get a little bit more in, that's still well within the weight capacity of this machine. One thing I have noticed is on the new hitch that we put on, it does push everything out a little bit further, so you have to be careful when dumping with the tailgate down that you're not hitting the tailgate into that hitch. So just one thing I noticed that we may need to evaluate, just to make sure we're not damaging anything while dumping. So there you can see I'm trying not to dump all the way up and just go part way. So we noticed there's some low spots, and we have this kind of stockpile of dirt down here that we've took off, I think maybe from the picnic shelter. So it's all topsoil, so go ahead and start dumping some of that kind of in some of the low spots here. So do several loads of that, but it's all pretty good dirt that was actually fairly dry, amazingly, even though it's kind of wet here. So anyway, I have those low spots, so want to kind of even those out, and just kind of place it kind of in the rough area that we need it, so that you can just take the York rake and kind of just smooth over it. And you can see there's some grass and roots in there, so he can kind of then pull those out whenever he drives over it as well. So there's one channel of water over there, so he's kind of getting rid of that by opening it up a little bit and then spreading the dirt over it and kind of working that water out down the hill over there.
Alright, so we just ditched the York rake, put back on the bush hog, so he's going to start doing stuff between the drives, so here and over there. So kind of can mow most of that up there. Obviously this here, and then around the wood yard a little bit. Behind it, still need to do some work, and then obviously that way, hasn't really touched. This was done before, but it's gotten kind of, we never really got it to the point where I could really mow it too well. And then we've done quite a bit of work at the top of the hill now. So he's going to work on bush hogging this, and then we may try to drag it with the York rake. Try to get it to a little bit better conditions where I can start to mow it. Even if I can't do all of it, if I can just kind of push back how much I do, that'd be a good start. And the ash, at the beginning of the day, I picked up what was in the drive. I'm going to cut that into chunks, try to get it in the back of the otter, and it's just completely rotten. So it's just going to go back to the green hole. So I'll work on that because it's in the way of him getting that mown. But I'll go to the top of the hill and show you what we got done up there and what it looks like after being drug. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Lighter colored dirt. We brought some dirt in to fill in some holes. Need to do a little bit more still, but it's a good start. Still have some spots here or there. Blue, we missed a couple of stumps. So we'll have to get those at some point. I think they're far enough away from the septic area that we may not have to worry about them. But got all this drug. Still have some stuff here or there. So it's not perfect. It being a little bit drier would definitely help. You'd be able to get more of this. It wouldn't make quite so much mess. But sun's starting to come back out. Hopefully we can have a week or so without rain and we can drag this again. And, you know, kind of do it a couple times, but if we can get to the point where some grass is growing here and I can cut it, it'll make this a much nicer area, and definitely a lot better than what we started with. So until we can actually get in here and really till everything up and you know, kind of make a nice yard, it's gonna kind of be this way, but we won't do any of that kind of stuff until we really have the septic laid out on where it's gonna go. So that'll kind of be lay out the house, actually get it squared up where we want it to sit, make sure we're kind of happy with that, and then once we have that, we can get the septic. We have kind of a general idea of where it needs to go, so we can kind of go off of those two at the same time, so you know it won't be independent one of the other, because we do have a little bit of a limited space where we can put the septic that's acceptable. So there is, you know, a little bit of a limiting factor here, but we have, I don't know, probably 50 feet or so that we can shift it one way or the other, up or down this hill just a little bit, because we have enough of a flat area left and right, we're pretty much kind of, you know, set in this way. So we have a little bit of adjustment in and out. So that will then kind of determine how far we either bring the house this way or push it that direction. I like to stay this way as much as possible. Just because we do want to build a house and everything over that direction eventually. But we'll just have to see how everything plays out whenever we are doing the layout.
Okay, so since we got switched back over to the bush hog, go ahead and start kind of cleaning up this area between the two drives. You can see the gravel drive further away and kind of where the otter's parked, just in front of it there. You can see that's where the other drive's going to be. So we kind of just start going through and cleaning this up. So basically he pushed out some trees, so there's some locust trees in there. It's pretty dense as far as the small trees, so any kind of undesirable trees like the locust that you don't want like in a yard, we kind of get those pushed out. And here just have the chest mount and kind of see getting some of this stuff cut up. And right now we're just kind of stacking it here in the middle. Whenever we have the dump trailer over, we'll get all that stuff picked up and taken back. But this is just a good kind of out of the way location for now that we can get this done. So go through, get this stuff picked up, and he's kind of push hogged most of it, and just going through and getting, like I said, kind of the undesirable trees out, or trees kind of that are in a location we don't want them to be. So like these two here are kind of be in the way, like a in-between drive that we want to do, where we can do some parking of machines and stuff. So so go ahead and get those out now. Ground's pretty wet, so they have been coming out pretty easy. Here, just stack this stuff up next to the drive, be able to pull up with the dump trailer and just get that stuff loaded right in. Also had several dead trees that were kind of in there, so got some of that stuff, went ahead and got it cleaned up too. Like that one just had vines growing up it, so instead of letting those vines continue, just got those out. Here's another one. Again, just kind of an undesirable tree for this location, so go ahead and get it taken out. And some of the other trees in the area that we are going to leave, that'll let them grow a little bit better. And it's amazing how much you can do with this little B2150. Not necessarily quite as fast as the 62, but it'll get the job done, and definitely doesn't tear things up quite as much. So that is an advantage it has over the 62, just the sheer weight difference in driving in an area. You know, you can drive that 2150 over, you know, several times, not going to make any ruts. You drive that 62 over just a couple times and it's going to leave some ruts, definitely if it's wet at all. So that's why you don't always see us have that machine here, just because depending on what we're doing, it may make more mess than it's worth, even if it'll do the job better. So here I found out that you can kind of see it starting to rain a little bit. Saw the sprinkles on his hood, so saw that it was about ready to rain, which about, I don't know, 2 minutes after this, it just absolutely let loose and didn't stop raining then. So right after this, we ended up getting packed up, loaded up stuff in the rain, and headed back to the home site, or the homestead. So just kind of that Indiana weather for you. So thank you for watching. Be on the lookout for getting the home site and the septic area planned out. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.